I'm 19 and last month my business has made over $92,000, but none of this would have been possible if I did not change the way I think. By the end of this video, you will have the same exact techniques I use and my students use to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars per month combined. If you are just starting out, want to make money online, or just want to better your mindset, this video is perfect for you. Also, this is stuff you don't really see on the internet, so if you like this style of content, just let me know. I'll post more. Anyway, enjoy. Peace.
All right, let's run it. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I don't mind.
You're chilling, Ilya. All right, Charbel. What are your goals 3 months from now, bro?
Yeah, roll content. Okay, financial. I'd say to be like around 4 or 5K
Why?
because I want to have enough to basically get into a good closing mentorship, and I think that's like the range of how much you need at least.
So do you want to make 4 or 5K, or do you want
Yeah.
to make 4 or 5K per month?
No, like be making 4 or 5K per month. That way, like I can start I can start a closing mentorship while also being able to basically, do well for myself on the side, at least decent, while basically progressing with the mentorship and then get on a closing role.
Why do you have to hop on a mentorship to get on a closing role?
Well, it's kind of what I also with setting now is just more networking. You basically open more doors for yourself. Also, it's just like, like I feel like the top closers in the game. Like for example, right now the top of my list is Jordan. Jordan's mentorship. So Jordan has a lot of people he knows, a lot of big names, and he has a lot of experience. So I just feel like I can benefit a lot from being with him, from working with him.
It's $100
Does
a
that make
month.
sense? Isn't there a mentorship as well?
That's the mentorship, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay then.
His goal is to break down. I'm not trying to make you sound stupid, by the way. I'm gonna do this to all you
No,
boys. I'm just gonna prone replies because I want to agitate you guys so you actually use your heads and
Uh,
think about what you
because
post.
I came across one of his reels on Insta of him closing someone for his mentorship, and it was 5K. So I just assumed.
It's a role play.
Okay.
It wasn't a real sales call. He sells his program for $100 because he doesn't believe in like closing coaching for 5K a month or whatever it is. He doesn't think that's fair. So, okay, so you want to make 4 to 5K per month because you want to join a good closing mentor. You want to join Jordan, but Jordan's thing's only $100.
Okay, so let's say I just need $100 to join Jordan's mentorship. Basically, the first 5K will help me move out of living with my parents.
Why do you have to move out?
Having lived abroad, I just feel like it's better as an adult to live alone. You have more things to do. Like for example, here, okay, I still wash the dishes and do my laundry from time to time, but having to do that every day, like not having anyone to do it for you, is just discipline. It's just like routine, and it builds good habits, in my opinion. Plus, I want to say I have more focus when I live alone.
When was the last time you moved out alone?
I was living alone when I was in uni, so a couple of months ago. Like last time was in June before I came back.
Were you more
I lived
disciplined?
alone.
Like, were you more locked in?
Well, yes, kind of. I was like, because here, for example, like when the fact that my parents are at home, I feel bad sitting in my room, not spending time with them. Sometimes I would neglect some things I have to do and spend more time with them. Whereas when I was living abroad, I would get on call with them for like 10, 15 minutes a day. And it was just like catching up, because they're my parents at the end of the day. But then the rest of the day, I'm doing my own work.
So you want to move out so you can spend less time with your family?
Well, I'll be coming back every weekend to see them because it's just like an hour away. But it's just basically to stay fully locked in on myself. I don't know how it might sound different, for you or for others, but
Yeah, I mean, when you come up with an idea and you only say it in your head, it's going to sound very different. Is this the first time you talked about your goals out loud?
no, I literally had I talked about my goals with Adam on the training call on Monday.
Okay. And what did you explain it as? You want to get into closing, essentially?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So from what I noticed is, I'm actually going to give you a great example. My dad, when he was younger, tried to start a construction company. He essentially worked with my uncle. And the recession hit, and he kind of got frightened, so he'd stopped. And after the recession, my uncle began the company again. And now my uncle's at a point where he's doing very well for himself. He's the only person, I guess, in my family tree doing well. For my dad, he's just working a very average job. And it's not a way to degrade him. It's just a way to say it essentially goes back to your subconscious desires and very simply your conscious desires, your why, right? So when
Yeah.
you continuously know why you're doing what you're doing, you're not going to stop. Let me put it this way. You only compare to your worst. So if you have a very traumatic incident happen in your life, if you have a bad day today in your mind, you're not going to say, oh, I had such a horrible day. No, you saw a dead body 2 months ago. That's a traumatic incident. All of a sudden, normality is a lot lower. So it doesn't matter if something bad happens because you don't care as much. So I think it's kind of a similar sense. My uncle, for a long story short, essentially landed further than he would have landed because in his mind, it was have as much as possible for my kids and for my wife and do this and whatever reasons he has. For my dad, it was have a roof over my kids' heads and put food on the table. For him, it was a lot more attainable. So when you get to that point, the goal you've pedestalized all your life and you achieve it, you're going to stop there. Why continue to push further? The discrepancy period. And I see it all the time. When I talk to people that are doing like 30 to 50 a month, their biggest issue is not their sales team. Their biggest issue is not their volume or their lead flow. It is the lack of desire to go further. It's a lack of clarity on your why. The discrepancy period. Why would I bother going further? So for you, it's the same thing. Why would you want to go that next step if all you've internalized essentially is I want to go from setting into closing so I can move out and then have more of a locked in period essentially and then have allocated time with your family so you can also do closing to move out and then also just have, I suppose, like some sense of personal routine. This is a very surface level why. Do you have a personal why? Like a deep
You mean
personal
why I
meaning,
want to move out, or
do you
why
have
I
a
want to
deep
go into
personal meaning of why you care so much about growth?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know who I talked to about this, but I hate being stagnant, first of all. Like, I hate just being in one position and not like moving forward, or like sometimes I feel like going backwards is better than staying where you are, because at least there's a shift, and that shift like basically makes you wanna make a bit like make a change with where you are. Whereas when you're staying still and you don't know what's wrong and why you're not moving forward, it's harder to figure out why you're in that position. Does that make sense? Like when you go backwards, you kind of know why you went backwards. There's a way to figure it out. At least for me, that's something I've been working on recently. Like, I'd have periods of time where I would like see like good progress, like not just in setting, just like in overall life. I'd see good progress for like 2-3 months, and then I'd have like a month or two where nothing changes, and I just have no clue why. Like, I'm still doing what I usually am, it just nothing changes. But if I stop doing what I am and I fall back, I know it's because I stopped doing that. But I just don't know why I stay in that position. So it's just in a way where um, I just like I hate being like I hate not move like just what's the word
You like
like
motion.
just being stuck. Yeah, I like motion. Like,
Yeah.
I just hate being stuck. I hate even more not knowing why I'm stuck. Like, it pisses me off. Yeah, literally what Inam said.
Okay. I'm going to give you this example because I can refer a lot of these things to myself. I took 3 days off the other day. The cool thing is actually none of you realize, and that's how cool I built this business where you guys can still grow without me essentially being here, obviously. But I took 3 days off. Day 2, I wasn't touching business or anything. I wasn't replying to anyone and whatnot. I was so pessimistic day 2. I was so agitated. I was having a bad day, except everything was going well. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized the way I was raised with my brothers and my parents and everything, I'm a natural pessimist. I'm a very pessimistic person. If you put me with one other person, I will be extremely positive. If you put me with 5 other people, some sort of insecurity will stem out and I'll randomly insult someone as a way to seek validation. So it's like I have understood that I'm a natural pessimist. If I don't feel, so I'll put pessimistic, or yeah, if I don't feel like I'm progressing for those 3 days, day 2, I felt like I was stagnating or regressing because I didn't feel a sense of growth. Because all I was doing was sustenance, and you guys see this graph from me all the time, essentially every single call at this point, sustenance and growth. And this is what you were referring to. The amount of work you do becomes sustenance, and then you weren't essentially doing any growth. So I'm going to give you a quick little thing. The reason you became stagnant for those few months was because everything you were doing was just enough to sustain. And when you stopped doing that, that's when you started to regress. None of the work you were doing was enough to grow. Maybe you were looking at role plays and reviewing them. You were just circle jerking yourself into a facade of growth. You weren't actually growing because you weren't getting better because you had no feedback loop. There was no feedback loop. Nobody was telling you, yo, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that. I'm going to give you a small example. When I'm around someone, for example, and they say naturally pessimistic things to themselves, or they're like, oh, that was so stupid. Why did I do that? And you tell them, yo, don't do that because you are subconsciously degrading yourself. If somebody applies that, they will understand that what you say to yourself will entirely impact how you actually act and how you believe about yourself. If you have broken through this, and now all of a sudden the things you say to yourself are positive, and I'm not saying that hippy dippy positivity stuff, I'm saying you genuinely believe and you genuinely develop that self-conviction where you know you can do anything. First of all, when you go into closing, easy, because you know you're the man. When you go into closing, you know that you're the man. But naturally, because of this, you will grow further and further and further. But the only reason this had happened was because of that feedback loop. Was purely that feedback loop. So you had no feedback loop. And that's just a quick reason as to why you stagnate. If you think back and you refer to any of these graphs, it's probably arguably true to some degree.
Yeah,
maybe there's other variables going on and so forth, but it's sustenance and growth. We tend to overcomplicate things. Even all of this is an overcomplication. It is simply sustenance and growth. The amount of work you were doing was sustenance. The amount of work you were doing was sustenance, and you weren't doing any growth. And when you run a business, obviously you can refer to this more often. When you're a rep, it's okay, well, how do I minimize the amount of time I set for? And this is an issue a lot of you do, and then you tend to burn out where you don't do this. Okay, so setting, let's say you set for 3-4 hours a day. If you're the man like Hassan, you'll get to a point where you're setting for 30 minutes a day. It's unfathomable to me. So 3-4 hours a day, maybe 2-3, whatever it is, as good as you get, good time management and so forth. You start thinking like an actual boss or manager and not like an employee. And then you allocate that extra time. I don't spend that much time working on the business. I spend a lot of time working on myself, because when I understand that as my personal life goes up, so will my business and so will every other aspect of my life. So I started to understand that the pillars I can pull to progress as a business owner is content, is my personal life, is my health. It's not doing 4 hours of admin work that I could delegate to a VA. It's not. So you need to start thinking like that if you actually want to get to a far stage. And I'm not talking 10K per month. You can have the employee mentality. I'm talking travel 100K per month. If those are in line with your aspirations, you need to think like this. And that's the exciting thing, because that is actual growth. Learning and shifting your mind to think like this. So sustenance, 3 to 4 hours. Okay, now growth. Let's say you are still working 10 hours a day, which, by the way, nobody's going to work 10 hours a day for over like 2 months. Otherwise, you're going to crash out and end your life. The growth things could literally be reading. It could be learning communication. It could be whatever it is, whatever is most applicable. But it doesn't matter about it actually being applicable. It matters about you believing it is applicable, because we fully care about the perception. So if you feel like it's applicable to where you're trying to go, you will develop so much of that subconscious conviction that it will get you to where you want to go. And I probably sound so hippy dippy and so lost in the sauce, but all we care about is the feeling. If you genuinely believe that you are the man, it doesn't matter if you have everything you need. You will be able to have so much conviction on that manager sales call where you close the guy because he thinks, damn, this guy's going to rip. And everything you prepared for was purely to believe that you are the man. It wasn't the actual skill set. It wasn't actual this. It wasn't that system. It wasn't that, because you could have paid $50 for that system. It was that self-conviction. So that's what you're going to get from setting. If you're actually a good setter, you're going to develop self-conviction. You're going to develop really, really good time management. You're going to develop a good network. And through being able to do so, when you go into the next thing, you're also going to be able to sustain the sustenance and growth graph. Through the network, you're going to be able to give yourself opportunities. Let's say skill set as well. You'll be able to develop cash flow. And that also coincides essentially with the self-conviction, where you do develop that cash flow, but you also develop conviction. And then you go and you make more money. And these are the things that if you develop these well enough, arguably skill sets, whatever you want to call them, characteristics, you'll be able to go and make more money. So that is the growth you're going to endure. So when I ask you, yo, what do you want to do or how much you want to make, and you say 4 to 5K, I don't actually care about the range. I care about the why. Because you might say 4 to 5K and then I want to do 10, and then I want to do 20, and then I want to do 50. I talk to people all the time. I've talked to people that make no money per month, and I get on random networking calls, and I talk to people that are doing hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. I've spoken to some people recently that are very, 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 very well off. I've arguably spoken to billionaires. It goes back to your why. When you get to a point where you have so many reasons as to why you are doing what you're doing, So it's like this, I want to diminish this, I want to do that, I want to do that. Yeah, some of it will probably be insecurities. Some of it will probably be your flaws or your vices or your desires. Some of it might be ego. There's a difference between good ego and bad ego, and that's for another day. The more reasoning you have behind it, the better. And what I'm going to refer back to is actually one of the introduction modules that you might have seen. So give me a second so this can load. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do.
Do you get what I'm trying to
Like-
say? Or are you still like waiting to see like what is he actually trying to say?
No, I mean, from what I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more about looking at it like from a bigger picture, not from like just 4 or 5K, because it's true. I'm gonna hit 5K a month and I'm like, I want to make 10. I get to 10, then it's gonna be 20, 30, and so on and so forth. Even if you're making 100K every month, you're gonna want to make more, because once you prove to yourself you can hit that goal, you know you can hit another one. It's like a never-ending cycle. You always want to make more because you know you can. If you've hit the one prior to that, does that make sense?
Well, it's not about the money.
So
It's
like
about you might have gotten
no,
into
that's what
it,
I mean.
so you don't have to worry
That's what
about
I mean,
some
like-
random small things. You can get to that point within
I
2
mean,
months.
like the money side is like the small picture, not the bigger picture.
Have you done this?
Yeah.
Have you?
I think. Yeah, it was. It's when I got onboarded. I mean, before, like when I on the first day I joined.
How many times have you looked back at it?
0. Honestly, I haven't looked back at it yet.
Okay, so I'm telling you that you come into this, and the biggest thing that will push you is, let me actually refer to what I heard Neuroknowledge say today. So he said there is internal and he said there is external. External is essentially what I can give you to get you to 5 to 10 to 20 to 30K per month, but what it can't affect is your internal. This is what you actually believe, this is your frequency and so forth. Right now, your frequency isn't here, but you also have no reason to pull your frequency so up, and you also have no feedback loop, and you have none of these things. Yeah, sure, you have a feedback loop with setting, but right now, there's not enough behind the pillar. You essentially have 4 pillars, right? Or let's say 2 pillars to make it easier. Let's even just go for 1, right? Let's say you have this 1 pillar, and this is your why. Your why is not strong enough right now. Maybe there's some internal reason that you don't want to say on this call, and that's totally understandable. But if you're not looking back at it, I continuously add on to mine. Every single time I get on a flight, which to be fair hasn't been for a minute, but I still reflect back a lot. I look back at that and I build to that. I have many, many different reasons. In a couple of years, I want to essentially go and help my brother build a plumbing company, because I understand no matter how much money I can develop, that won't help my family. What will help my family is helping them develop their own wealth through skill sets, through beliefs, through ideologies, and I can shift that. That's one thing. When I get to X, not if, but when I get to X in 4 years, I will do X. Now I'm training my mind to think long term. And then also the insecurities and all these ideologies I might have. And then there's also all this other stuff of like, okay, well, I want to help my family. I want to be able to not worry about money. Money's been a very touchy subject growing up, so I don't want people around me to care about it. All these different things. And you develop and you develop and you develop and you develop. You make it so simple to want to do it. And it's not to go and work 10 hours a day. It's about wanting the growth and caring enough about the growth. You say you care about growth, but you don't even really know why. You just say you care about growth. You care about growth because if you're not growing, you probably feel bad, but you don't know why you feel bad. Oh, I'm somebody who cares about growth. But you don't even have your pillar yet, bro. You don't even really know why. Do I expect you to fully know why today? No. But you develop as you go. The same way you develop conviction as you go. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I can. To be fair, when I first answered the financial part because of the thing I saw written, but I can give you my main why, which is why I got into Tethers Academy, and I spoke to Chris about it and everything. But I just want to be able to pay my parents' debt off. Like that would genuinely mean more than anything to me, more than any cash collected, moving out, any accomplishment I can make for myself. It's just about doing. It's like not looking at the bigger picture. It's just about being able to pay my parents back for everything they've done for me, and that's by starting off paying off their debt.
How much is the debt?
Wait, I know it in AED. Let me convert it to USD. Around 54K.
Okay. So when you get to that point and you pay off the debt, how do you think you'll feel 3 months after?
I won't stop smiling.
What about 2 years after?
I mean, I'm gonna have something else to be working for. I'm gonna have another why at that point.
Right. But no, it's a great goal to have. Don't get me wrong. I actually don't even like the word goal. I think because then we subconsciously pedestalize it. It's a great milestone to have. But it's a very surface level milestone. I'm sure you obviously understand, okay, well, I want to pay my family's debt so they can feel good and they don't have to worry about that, sure. But then you associate your goals to financial. When you associate your goals to financial, 80% of the decisions we make are emotionally entangled. 20% of the decisions we make are logical. There's going to be a lot more emotional bias in the way you think, act, and do if it's about money. If it's about something that is obviously it needs to be important, but when it comes to money, we become very emotional. Families get ruined over money. Friends get ruined over money. People kill over money. Right? So you need multiple different pillars behind it. Right now, you obviously have that, and that's a great one. Don't get me wrong. But it needs to be bigger and bigger, and it needs to be more about the version you want to become, I think. Me personally, everybody has different things. For me personally, it's more about the individual I want to become. Because that says, okay, well, when I'm where I want to be, I'll act like this and I'll do this and I'll do that. And then I can develop my own subconscious requirements. All I say, I have like two main things. Be true to yourself and sustain peace. We can't find happiness and so forth and whatever. And you probably know the quote, but be true to yourself. That's understanding your morals and ethics and what you would do and what you would not do when you're already where you want to be. Understanding what you'd look like at a bigger point. Because then I could also challenge you and I could say, okay, well, when you're where you want to be, or don't you feel like you'd be doing better if you were in better shape or whatnot? And you'd be like, yeah, but there's a period I need to sacrifice. And I'm like, okay, well, how long will you sacrifice for? There is a stage a lot of entrepreneurs go through where we feel like we need to sacrifice. And we feel like we need to be in the trenches. But in retrospect, after about a month or 2 or 3 or 2 weeks, it doesn't matter. It's a limiting belief. Once you break through that limiting belief, you realize you would be in a better state right now if you were in better shape. Right? So it just goes back to having multiple pillars, bro, and understanding what you look like at a bigger version. And that's going to be more growth mentally, physically, whatever your desires are. But have it be strong. Mine's about 20 pages and I continuously add to it. And I just told you a bunch of my random ones. But I'm so conscious of it. There's no day that goes by where I'm like, no, oh no. My mom called me today and she was like, oh, I'm seeing the flights of prices increase. She's going to her hometown to meet her grandma. And she's worried about the price. It's probably like $20. I was like, send me the details. I'll pay for the flights. I've already told you. Don't worry about it. And I'm not saying that in a way where I'm flaunting it. I'm saying it in a way where it can become normality very easily. But it's if all you care about is being the guy who can just pay for random things like that in bottles, you probably won't become the guy. It's about everything else, and then that will come. The man makes the money doesn't make the man. So figure out what you'd look like at an ideal version of you, what a better version of you that you want to get to, and then act accordingly and do accordingly. Right?
Yeah.
Let it be bigger than just money. Great milestone to have. Because it will happen. I know you, Tarbell. It'll happen one way or another. But don't let it be the one main thing you're chasing, because when we chase that one thing, think about it with girls. When you chase that one girl, what happens? It doesn't work out.
You're cooked.
Yeah, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So let there be more and more. Let there be a pillar behind it. Does that help?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Does that make sense?
It's helpful. It's not like I have something like deep down that does motivate me. It's a very long story. I mean, I can talk about it. I mean, it's just like a very long story, but it's something that happened to me when I was a kid. I mean, I was like 9 months old.
Let's hop on a second.
Yeah, I can like explain it more in detail after. But okay, so should we move on, or like do I?
So you want to get to 4 or 5K per month in the next 3 months. You want to transition into closing. Is this a 3-month goal, or is this more of a longer term goal?
This is more of a longer term goal, because I want to first be good at every aspect of the sales role. So I want to be good at B2B, at dialing before going to closing. Because
3 months from now.
Yeah.
I want you to be in making minimum 7K per month.
Yeah.
That's my goal
for you. I will
be
doing that.
I want you to make minimum 7K per month with STR in the next 3 months. Because when you're an SDR making 7K per month, going into closing will be the easiest thing you've ever done, because you're already the man and you already understand psychology. 7K per month in the next 3 months. You better be an SDR. If I see you in the DMs, even like 6 to 8 weeks from now, I'm going to geek out, bro. Nobody should stay in DMs that long because you get good enough. And I disagree with Jordan about go right into closing. No, being a really, really good SDR is going to give you really, really good leverage.
Yeah.
But a lot of you guys overstay your visit in DMs.
No, I don't want to be in the DMs for more than another month. Because, you already know this, but I was in the DMs before joining you for a month already. So
Yeah.
This is my second month. Another month and, I don't want to be more like in the DMs much longer.
Do you join Clay and Seb's calls?
Yeah.
All of
I
them?
didn't join Clay's call on Monday because I had the training call with Adam, but we discussed with him and he's going to change the timing so that way we can make the calls. But I was on Seb's call. I usually join them every time, yeah. I just missed Clay's one on Monday.
We want to start
But I
pushing,
joined Seb's call on Saturday.
we're going to start pushing a lot more of you boys into SDR because there's so much more growth and potential there. We're rejecting a lot of SDR opportunities right now because we just don't have enough SDRs. We're having to source separately as well. We have a client who's doing about 200 a month, and he is about to refer a guy who's doing about 700 a month, I believe. We don't have SDRs, boys. There's so much money there. So that is going to get you closer to closing. That is going to actually give you skill sets that will be more aligned with getting into closing as well. So joining Clay and Seb's calls, we're switching it up a little bit as well. So they'll do actionables at the end of the call and hold you accountable too, and kind of tell you what it is you need to do. Make sure you go and do them. Don't be the guy who shows up in a role play and his hands in his pants. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
3 months from now, you better be making at least 7K per month. What else? What other actionables do you have?
Wait, so are we talking about, is this like regarding to transitioning into SDR or just in general, like
3 months.
3 months from now? Keep joining every single call for everything. Even when I'm an SDR, for example, I don't want to stop joining DM calls. Even these wonderful mindset calls and the guest calls that you have every Wednesday. So just keep joining every call, stay active in the group, help others, because you learn a lot from helping others as well. It helps your skill set as well. Get better at time management. Like with the last 2 weeks, which I fixed this week, but I was revolving my life around setting, which now I flipped. I revolved I revolved setting around my life. It's been like I've had a much more loving relationship with setting this last week, and I noticed I have been also having better conversations because of that. Because I'm actually setting because I want to, not because I have to. And what else? Oh, this actually has been helping a lot also in terms of like work, but carry on whatever habits I have from 75 hard into my day-to-day, even when that's done 3 months from now. That's actually been very helpful. Like just because I can't make excuses for 75 hard, so I'm using that like philosophy into setting as well. Like not to make excuses to maybe procrastinate a convo reply and outbound, whatever the fuck it may be. Just basically not make excuses, not procrastinate, stay locked in, take accountability for anything I do, whether good or bad, because that's also very good. Like you should be proud of yourself for the right things you do, but you should also be accountable for the wrong shit that you do. And when you do something wrong, also like own up to it. Not just like be accountable within yourself, but own up to it to other people, because it just makes it. Once people know if you're when you're fucking up with something, you just want to fix that naturally. You don't want people to know that you stay in that position after you said that you've done that. Like if I tell you, oh, I'm only doing 10 outbound a day, and you're like, that's fucking dog shit. What is wrong with you? I'm not gonna want to. I won't want to be doing only 10 outbound a day anymore. That's just because then if you find out a week later I'm still doing 10 outbound, you're gonna shit on me, and I don't want to go through that. So just be like completely transparent with myself and with others. It's more like psychological actionables. I think the physical stuff I'm doing, I'm committing to them, like joining the calls, putting in the reps for role plays and like in terms of setting. It's just more mindset stuff. And I know you watch for this, Val, but it's literally like 80% mindset. Like genuinely.
It is 95% mindset.
Yeah.
You're going to say, how do I do
I like
this?
that.
Figure it out. Reverse engineer 2.0 version of yourself. Figure it out. I'm not helping you with this. Do your why. Build up on it, bro. There's not enough there. Go watch that module. Continue joining training calls. Join Clay and Seb's calls. They'll give you more actionables and stuff, and that should help you a lot too. What's up, Svet?
Can I go next?
Bro's prepaying. Yeah, I got you. Pay parents' debt. There needs to be more here. Financial, 3 months from now, better be making 7K per month minimum. 1 month from now, brother, you better be an SDR a month from now.
Yeah.
So reverse engineer. A
I'm
month
gonna
is
write
a
that shit down.
window, by the way. Near the end of the year, it's been a quick month, right? It's been a very quick.
Yeah, it has. I've been on the offer 3 weeks now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
3 months from now, let's make it happen. If you need anything from me, let me know, bro. I want to see you
Thank
win.
bro.
I got you, bro. All right, Svet. How are you, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm always good.
Happy to hear that.
Financial. What are we going for?
Financial next till January, I want to hit 3 to 5K. Next year, 20 to 30K.
Okay. 3K to 5K. You said January,
Yeah.
and then you said by the end of next year you want to do 20 to 30K?
Yeah.
How come?
I want to transition into growth up. That's how
Really?
I plan to do it. My wise, bro, I'm just scared to be average, bro.
Why?
I don't know, like the feeling being stagnant just like pisses me off. I want to be a better version of myself every day. I wanna give back to God. That's my like true why, because it's like literal personal. But before that, I've never believed in God.
Mhm.
But I've hit rock bottom, and like he showed me the way. So right now I want to pay back him by like having something and giving back to others. Like that's my way to repay him. That's how I think it should go.
I like it. I like it. I think a lot of people don't vocalize their flaws and their insecurities and their vulnerabilities, and when you do that, you just hide from them. I was on a call with a growth op earlier today, and I hate getting on calls with them because it's always a sob story. Oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I need to fix this, this is going wrong. I asked them how often do you actually try to spend conscious time fixing these problems? And he said, every time we get on call. And I said, we get on call for 30 minutes every 2 weeks. You're telling me you spend 30 minutes every 2 weeks trying to fix problems that are holding you back from where you want to go. The people you're competing with are very easy people to compete with. I love info. I hate the people in info. Joe, you have seen the people that are operating your offers are not very, very competent individuals, but they're still making a lot more money than you.
True.
Reverse engineer it. How did they get to that point? What did they do? What are they good at? What are they good at that I'm not good at? Content acquisition, closing. Why don't I know content acquisition or closing? Is this, would I want to do it that way? Because there's a lot of ways you boys can get from to 10K per month or 20 or 30 or 100 or 50. There's a lot of ways. You guys see Teddy Rippin, you think, yeah, that's the method. No, whatever you want to be the method can be the method. It's whatever you believe at the end of the day. Nobody had ever done what I'm doing right now with the setting industry. And you guys don't even really see it because I don't show it, but nobody's ever done what we're doing. But I didn't think that when I was doing it. I just said, okay, I'm going to do it though. So it just comes back down to what you actually believe you can do. So you want to make 3 to 5K per month by January. And then financially, you want to do 20 to 30. What's the biggest thing holding you back right now?
Maybe like when I quit my job, my thought process is with those 3 to 5K. Firstly, I'll have more time so I can leverage. Like I try to systemize my time with sitting so I can have as much time to learn new skills. Because the more skills you have, the more problems you can solve, the more money you make. So I'll try to reinvest everything I make into other mentorships, learn more skills and progress from there.
Why aren't you already making 3 to 5K per month though? Is it skill set?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I'm there.
So if are there people with a worse skill set than you making 3 to 5K per month?
I can't answer this question. Like maybe it's the offer. I'm trying to like not blame things other than myself. Because it's easy to say, yeah, the offer is not doing good. That's why I'm not making 3 to 5K a month. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be proactive and help
Bro, I
that
love
offer that is maybe slow.
I love Matt, bro, but you're better than the offer. If you were on a better offer, you'd make more money. There are setters that are worse than you making 3 to 5K per month. It's an offer thing. By the end of the month, get on a better offer. But do it in a respectful offboarding way.
Like
And helping you.
the reason I'm staying with him is because of his morals. Like I'm trying to connect with like-minded individuals, and like he's not money grabbing like everyone else. That's not his like motive. That's why I'm currently staying with him. I'm still thinking about everything, but that's why I'm staying with him currently. I believe in him. I want to help him genuinely.
So how much is too much? How long until you say, okay, well, I've hit this threshold. Now I need to go and get on my own offer and do this and do that? Or do you even know or no?
I don't even know. Maybe a month, because at the end of the day, I want to progress as well. And if I'm being stagnant, I know he will understand me. Me trying to move on.
Okay, so it's essentially like, pretend this. I'm a YouTuber and I'm posting a YouTube video. And the YouTube
Yes.
video gets no views, and I get super annoyed. And I post another one, it gets no views, and I keep posting, and I don't look at the drop-off rate. I don't look at how many people are watching it. I don't look at what's working and what isn't working. I see that it's not working, and I get super agitated. That's what you're doing. There's no actual like progression per se. So yeah, maybe the offer is gonna get better, but what are you getting from within the offer? If you are making a smaller amount of money than you want to make on an offer, you better be, what's the word? Making up for it in a sense of skill set. If I'm on an offer,
I'm doing
and
that
not
right
making
now.
money I want to make. Huh?
I'm doing that right now. Like the people I'm having convos with are like, I don't know how to say, harder to convince to book a call, which helps me with building my skill set. Because I know if I would get on a better offer, I think my skill set wouldn't be like where it is now. And also I have problems with patience, and I think God is doing like testing me right now where I can show my patience. So that's why I'm chilling. I'm not actually worried. I know my time will come.
But you also get to determine your time, bro.
Yeah.
You also get to determine your time, and you need personal mental requirements for that. Otherwise, you're going to keep posting YouTube videos hoping one of them lands. And when they do land, you're going to go back to zero because you're not figuring out why it's landing. If I was on an offer and I wasn't making the money I wanted to make, there better be a damn good reason I'm doing it. Yeah, you can say, okay, well, it's a patient thing, and I respect that. I respect that. You can say, okay, I'm testing my patience and all this. But I'd be making up for it in different ways. I'd be learning closing or doing back end or making sure, hey, you know, it's not in my best interest to stay on this offer, but would you be down to show me how you do this and that on a quick call a week? Just so I can kind of feel like I'm growing on it too. Because I understand maybe I'm not making the money I want to make now, but I want to make sure I'm progressing on other skill sets. So maybe content, whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is you see helping you in the future.
Yeah.
It's not greed. It's calculated risk. Maybe not risk, calculated whatever. It's calculated. It's not greed to say, okay, let me put myself in the best position possible. Maybe I'm not growing as much as I can financially. Let me account for it in other ways. What is the other way I desire? Because there will be people in here making a lot of damn money in the next few months. Whatever it is you want. You can go to ecom, you can go to FBA, you can do TikTok shop. You can go work a normal job. You'll land further with this. You'll land further with that than if you didn't do this, right? I posted a video recently where I said, I'm going to land far further. God forbid everything went wrong. It won't. But I'll always land further than I would have if I didn't try. Because of everything I've endured in between. But I've maximized the amount I endured in between. Matt was helping me with content yesterday, right? When's the last time he's helped you with something outside of setting besides just having good conversations? Is there something there or not really?
Maybe
Prioritize
not.
your
Like
best.
I'm trying to be proactive, help him like with content, with ideas. Like I'm looking at other competitors doing good, like sending him reels and telling him what they're doing good, like what he can do. Today we had a call where I proposed to him. The only thing I think he's missing right now is testimonials, case studies. So I told him like to speed up the process with those. I think it will help. I'm trying to be
Good.
proactive.
You're becoming a great creative director, but it's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Prioritize your own desires. And that's just putting yourself in the best position possible. I've worked on offers where I wasn't making the money I wanted to make, but I was accounting for it in different ways. You need to have a certain degree of just sheer desire to do your own thing. Because when you have so much of it, even if you might burn someone in the process, obviously that's not a desire. I'm not saying do that. You can offboard in a respectful way and put yourself in a better position in a respectful way. Don't prioritize other people over yourself. Don't prioritize other
Okay.
people. I'm not in your ear all the time saying, yo, make sure you don't get complacent, don't get stagnant, don't do this, don't do that. So develop your own feedback loop. Get to a point where you have these mental requirements. Okay, well, I'm going to give it X more amount of time, and I need this and this to happen. If I'm going to stay through this, let me at least get the value I want. What values does Matt have? I'll see you later, Ilya. What values does Matt have that I would desire to have for myself that will help me in the future? Okay, cool.
Maybe I see it in a long term. If I
Brother, I
help him
promise
like
you.
scale, I don't know how
What,
to
you're going to
explain
growth
it.
up him?
What?
You're
Sorry?
going to growth up him?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do actually. Because if I get an offer doing good, I think like being on an offer where it's still like slow and it's new, I think helping it to grow to 100K will give me much more like value and long-term goal.
No, because you're a glorified setter. There are anomalies, so I don't want to shift your reality and tell you that this is the truth. Everything is wrong. It just depends how wrong this is to you. In his eyes, you will be a really, really good A-player setter who helped him with a bunch of ideation, a bunch of ideas. You were just a really, really good setter. He's not going to see you as a growth up. Even if he pays you more, you are just a really, really good, overvalued setter. That's how he will perceive you. There are anomalies, but I've seen this happen. Yeah, I've seen a guy go from setter to growth operator and so forth and make a good amount of money, but there's a higher level of perceived value when you say, I'm going to get my case study, I'm going to get what I desire, I'm going to keep him in my relationships and my connections, and then move into the bigger thing. So leverage as much as you can. Develop as much as you can. Develop that self-conviction. Get to a point where you're as competent as possible in every realm of skill set you desire, so you can get into growth operating a rip. But like retrospectively speaking, it's also just setting, bro. It's not neuroscience. You can talk about getting better because the leads are colder, but it's not going to make a major difference. Let me put emphasis on the fact that if your goal is money, at least a big part of it is probably going to be money and skill sets, you would be learning more on a bigger offer, and you'd probably make more on a bigger offer.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. It's just a knock in the head. Nobody likes a knock in the head. If you're Eastern European, you know the concept of when your parents get your heads, and you and your sibling, they smack them against each other. It's not a good feeling, but it makes you realize, okay, this is what I should do moving forward. This is what I might not do. So consider it that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
What's your why? You don't have to like go super deep if you don't want to, but you have a why?
My why was just not be average, literally.
Same thing. This might work for you, it might not work for you. As you develop, you'll figure out what works best for you. The same way I might say go gym, then come back and then do work. And you might say, screw that, I'm going to do work, then go gym. It depends on the individual. Play with these as well.
Okay.
Cool. Because if you were so stubborn that you wanted to achieve your goals and you knew your why and you knew why you wanted to move so quick and not be stagnant and do this, you would have a level of impatience. You wouldn't be training your impatience to be patient. You'd be so agitated, you'd figure out a way to push forward. It might be the offer, it might not be. You'd still figure out a way to push forward, and that's what we're looking at the end of the day.
You're right.
So what are you going to do? What are the actionables you need to take? First thing I'm going to say is create mental requirements. Do you know what I mean?
Not exactly. Can you explain more?
Okay, I'm going to stay on this offer until X happens or X happens. So if that doesn't happen in that meantime, then I'm going to start offboarding. I'm going to make sure I do a good thing and put them in the best position possible. But I'm going to put myself in a better spot to get on a good offer. Now, if obviously talk to Teddy, talk to your managerial team, figure out what's best for you. Maybe this isn't what you want to endure, but I'm telling you, if you want to get to your goals, this is
We've
a
talked
feasible
about
way
it
to.
already, about that. So already I have it in mind.
Cool. Create mental requirements and then get an agreement from the management team. So you're all on the same page and you understand.
Okay.
Do your why. Reverse engineer 2.0 of yourself. What else?
I wanna bring back like more attention to my health.
Okay. So fix your workflow. Let me ask you this: if you were in better health right now, would you be making more money?
Yes.
There you go. You want to make more money, get your health better.
Okay.
If you get in better health, you will want to work harder because you'd be wasting time on health where you'd be like, I gotta lock in. You'd have less time to work, and you'd get better at workflow, time management, so forth. Things we referred to earlier. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, bro. Thank you.
Gotcha. Was this helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you, bro.
It's kind of annoying, right? When somebody calls you out on this, it's kind of like screw you.
Nah, bro. I appreciate every single second with you.
Crazy Glaze.
Bro, come on. I'm gonna shut up now. Go to the next, bro.
All right, let's run it. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Oh no, we got Mr. Complacent over here. How are you, bro?
It's been it's been all right, to be fair. It's not been terrible.
All right, let's run it. What are your goals?
Yeah, 3 months from now, I'd say I want to get to, upper four figures, like at least like 7K a month at least.
Okay. What else?
I would say I'd also be looking to I'd want to be a closer. I would say like that's definitely in my mind. It's been in my mind for a while, but just about making sure that I've done everything I can of setting before I do that. And then I'd also want to ideally by I guess like this time next year I want to be hitting at least like 20K a month.
Why is that your goal?
I would say, I mean, the first one would be because if you convert that like 7-ish K to here, like that would be take me just above 10. And then 20K just because it's like I feel like that's a good springboard to have, especially like it's a very achievable. I think it's achievable. I don't think there's no reason why no reason why I feel like I can't, but I definitely think that's like doable. It's just about getting myself to that fucking number. It's a number I think is gonna be big, but it's also like not outside the realm of possibility.
Why do you have to get to the number?
I guess for me, just because it sounds good in my head, if anything.
So you want to get to 20K per month because it sounds good in your head?
Well, I mean, no, and I guess everyone's like the reasoning behind that, I guess, is just like to make sure, obviously, like by that point, I'd be able to like start taking care of my family and shit. I'd be able to, move into a better apartment because this one's been fucking trenches. But I'd be able
I
to.
slept on the couch for like 2 months of the year, bro. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that. Just be able to take care of myself fully. I'd be able to take care of my parents. I'd be able to start providing for them. Maybe start paying off the mortgage from time to time if I have to. Like just in general, just being a lot better financial position where I'm just like able to achieve my ultimate goal, where it was always like being able to take care of my family, like especially my mom.
Okay. Let's not talk about outcomes for a moment, and let's just say day-to-day basis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What would be different on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis when you're making 20K per month versus right now? Because you're doing 75 hard, bro. You're doing a lot of things health-wise well and right. So work-wise, skill set-wise, performance-wise, what would actually be different?
If anything, I would say is I'd be getting out of my own way. That's the one thing I've always noticed has been the thing. In a sense, like I would say it's not even like
You'd get out of what?
like I'd get out of my own way, if that makes sense. Like mentally
So
wise,
you're holding yourself back?
I definitely feel like I have, yeah.
How and why?
Okay, so I'd say if anything, how I would say is just because I've been like I've noticed at times I've been a bit procrastinating, like ever since I've moved, for sure. Like I definitely need to be procrastinating a bit less. On top of that, I've also said like I've also been in a situation where I've like just been, I guess, like mentally beating myself over the head over the last like month or so, like just like beating myself up. If anything goes, I'm just like, this is why you're so fucking stupid. You can't fucking do anything. Like, and I'll be completely honest with that because like that just has been what's going through my mind. I'll also be thinking like, was I right? Was this a smart idea for me to perhaps move, knowing that like if I fail, I'm gonna be probably fucking homeless. If I think to myself like, what if I try all this shit and I made this fucking move and I fucking ran away from home and I got myself a new place and it all fails in the end? Like part of me is thinking like, what if all of this shit fails? If I'm being completely honest.
Just
Like
let me
that.
ask, what happens if it doesn't work out?
Well, I mean, for one, I wouldn't have somewhere to live. I'd have to probably go live with my friends. I was actually gonna have to go back to my parents' house, which would not be ideal considering how things were before I left. Something like that. Maybe have to go back to university full time. Honestly, I'd see myself like genuinely like I don't even know if I'm able to continue like just being online on the online space. Like I'd probably have to just like realize like that dream is never gonna work out and then just quit.
It sounds like you've given that more time than you've given your own goals.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
So why? Why have you given that more time?
I think it's for me just like I think like when I've grown up, I've just like I've always been relatively pessimistic about myself. Like if something good happens to me, it's more just like, oh wow, like it's more like relief. If anything that something bad happens, it's just like, well, this is just what always fucking happens. And I know the thing that sucks is that I know it fucking isn't gonna help me. It's just I don't know why I haven't got myself out of that loop yet.
What's your feedback look right now? Who's giving you actual feedback and criticism on a regular basis?
Honestly, it's mainly just what's going on through my mind.
Okay. So your biggest thing holding you back is your mental right now. And the
Yeah.
fear of failure.
I wouldn't say the fear of failure part. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna actually somehow make this work, and then sometimes it's just like, yeah, you could. It's very like how I say it swings very often as well. So, if I'm being completely honest,
Yeah, I think if you had more self-conviction, you'd already be closing. There's not many people relying on others. Yeah, there's motivation.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I
don't know.
Either.
So what would you do differently if you were a 2.0 version of yourself right now? How would you think differently?
Well, I know I wouldn't be mentally beating myself up all the time. I definitely know that. Like it's always been a thing that's happened to me. Just obviously part of it's because of the way I grew up, I guess, and also partially just because of the fact that it's just like you open up Instagram and you see fucking everyone winning, so it's like, why not me? And then obviously you gotta sit to be myself with it. Though. So if I was the new version of myself, I wouldn't be doing that for sure. I'd just be like, I would have full confidence in myself. I would just be like, you know what? No matter what fucking happens, like I'm gonna make that shit work. I get shit done. I definitely have a lot more confidence in myself. I'll say like I'm also able to like I'd be less scared to like I guess voice how I feel sometimes. Because like sometimes there's these situations where it's just like I'll be mentally just going through it mentally like probably like thinking like how am I gonna make this work? Like what if I fail? And I would like be able to I guess shut off that negative. I wouldn't say shut off because like I think in a sense you just sort of need that to like regulate yourself sometimes, but like I wouldn't move so in a sense where I'm relying on motivation so much. I wouldn't be trying to, force myself a situation where I'm always so like, am I gonna make this work? That's how like I said, like you said, like full conviction. I'd be like, I'm making this work. If anything, I'd just be so fucking like stern. I would make shit work that there would be no room for me to believe I'd fail.
It took me 3 or 4 years to get to a point where I had full conviction, and if things went south, I'd be okay. For you, it might take a year. For somebody else, it might take 3 months. It just depends on the level of delusion you have at that period. Because guess what? When you have it, who's to say you won't lose it again in a year? Anyone who has full conviction in themselves 24/7 is a little too autistic. It's not realistic. You will doubt yourself. And when people tell you, bro, you gotta have full conviction in yourself, say, when's the last time you doubted yourself? Look at them straight in the face. And if they say, no, bro, never, you'll be able to tell they're lying because they're not expecting the question. I was speaking to a guy recently who was doing about 150K a month, 21 years old, arguably unethical and immoral, which is why I don't speak to him anymore. And he was talking about having full self-conviction. He didn't even believe it when he said it, bro. Yeah, you gotta have full conviction in yourself. Do not fall in a state where you don't have it. No, bro, never. It's a lie. Everybody does. It's normality. But it all stems from how you speak to yourself and how you treat yourself, is what I like to believe. The example I used earlier, when I was speaking to someone and they were like, "Oh, I'm doing horrible, I'm doing bad, I'm doing poor." Yeah, you continuously do yourself that injustice and you start to believe it. You
Yeah.
develop it as you go. We all Andy Frisella talks about mental toughness, or sorry, Alex Hormozy talks about mental toughness in 4 different departments. How long it takes you, I guess when you endure something horrible, how long can you last before it actually affects you and your performance? How long do you stay in that state? How bad does it get and how fast you recover? And the reason he does that and the reason he gives all 4 of those different things a label is so you can figure out what you need to work and improve on. For you right now, it just feels like there's a lack of clarity on insecurities that you need to develop. Welcome to psychology. Welcome to psychology. This is the game. You got to figure out, and this is the more beautiful thing, you got to figure out what you think it is holding you back, because it might not even be the thing holding you back. And once you work on it and you realize that you're progressing, you'll believe that you're progressing, that you'll feel better, and you'll develop more self-conviction. It may not actually be there, but you'll feel like it's there. And because you feel like it's there, you'll have more conviction, you'll be able to go through it. But it's labeling things. If you simplify it enough so it's something that doesn't feel so far away, and I say all of this, message me, let's get on a call. I'll help you with this stuff. This is my bread and butter, bro. Because I've endured a lot of this. There were periods where I thought it was me against the world. There were periods where, like everybody, I thought there were people literally trying to drag me down. Nobody cared about me, bro. Nobody cared enough about me to drag me down. It's all a facade in the back of your mind. Hit me up. We'll hop on a call. But I think a lot of it is just not feeling super, super far away and having clear actionables. So I'm actually going to leave yours empty. We'll talk about it on a call privately.
Sounds good.
This is good. Good job on joining this call and actually vocalizing these things. This is
Yeah,
really good.
so myself with anything. So like,
You've already done the difficult part, bro. You've moved out on your own. Like you're in a good position. Now you just need some guidance, and I got you there.
sounds good.
We'll schedule a call. Who's next? You can unmute and say, there's so many screens.
Should I go next?
No, bro, not you.
No?
If you're saying, should I go next? No, not you. What do you mean, should I go next? Is this call for me?
I'll go next, I guess, then.
This is also very easily the conversation I have with you, where for me, it might take 10, 15, 20 minutes per individual. And for you, it might be a paragraph in 3 months saying, you changed my life. And I'm going to say, no, I didn't change your life. You put yourself in that position. I just hit you with the trajectory. I'll see you later, Ryan. So if you say, should I go next? Bro,
My bad.
what are your goals 3 months from now?
5K per month.
5K per month?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I want to move out of my house.
How bad are your guys' houses? Jesus Christ.
It's not bad, bro.
Everybody wants to move out. I'm telling you, it's not cool when you got to pay for laundry or you got to clean your clothes or you got to do this. Then you start thinking, damn, bro. My mom stopped making my lunchbox. When I was little, I wanted to make my lunchbox. My mom stops making it. All of a sudden, I'm like, man, I wish my mom kept making my lunchbox.
True.
We all want it, and then we get it, and we're like, damn,
Yeah.
that was good. What else? What else is your why? What else is your goals?
I mean, that for right now, that's like my short-term goal. Maybe get into closing. I'm not sure if I want to get into closing. But SDR for sure. Like by like the end of December, and go into SDR.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of you guys are obsessed with the actual financial milestone and not obsessed with the actual growth you're going to endure. It's a very tricky thing to say because you might feel far away from it now. You might be so lost in the sauce where you don't even realize the amount of growth you endured. It's like when you go on a cut and you lose some weight and you're looking at your physique and you're thinking, bro, I barely even lost any weight. Why have I been cutting for 2 months? You don't realize how much growth you've actually endured. But if you actually go and you look back at a picture, you're going to be like, damn.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to become obsessed with the journey And I'll talk about that later on. I want to continue on this because when I say get obsessed with the journey, you guys are just thinking like he's just saying what every YouTuber says at this point. All right. What else? What else is your why, bro?
That I have a deeper why, like that's kind of personal, but I do want to help my family out. Like,
Why? Screw them. Let them help themselves, right?
no,
Why do you want to help your family, bro?
I mean, I want to help my parents out because they did so much for me, and I just want to give back to them
How do you want to give back to them?
by just like having a lot of money, so they can like, buy anything they want, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah,
Help family financially.
yeah, help family financially.
This feels like the most surface level one. Not a bad thing, by the way. Just intrigued. Just intrigued. And I'll refer back to what I said.
I do have a very deep goal. It's like, but I just want to keep it personal.
All right, cool.
I'll let you know in the DMs. But I do have a limiting belief, bro. It's been on my mind for like 6 months to a year.
What is it, you goon? Tell me.
Every time like I like start like logged in, like working really good, something happens in my life that I just like I don't work that much. You know,
What happened
then I have
last
to last time w- um so I'll kind of have two things on my head. Like what happened? Like one time I had that hospital incident when I was losing weight and everything. That kind of threw me off. And then like one time, like I logged in. This sounds so funny, bro. The India like was about to go on war with Pakistan. Like my house is like on like the international border, so I had to move out for a couple of days.
Okay, what else?
And
What about the time before that?
yeah, the time before that was the hospital incident. Like that's like the
What
two
about
I
the time
do
before that?
remember. What about the time before that? I don't remember correctly what happened, but maybe something happened. Maybe I'm just using this as an excuse
No.
to like not work. Oh, to like not work, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's an excuse. I don't know.
Well, it's not an excuse. It's not a limiting belief. It's a pattern recognition. And they can only happen for
Yeah.
so long. So I used to have the same thing. Every time I'd get momentum, I'd kill it because my habits would go down. Guess what I've been talking about recently? Now I've got momentum. I've normalized that momentum. Now I get momentum on my momentum because all of a sudden it's not, wow, I have momentum. It's, okay, my habits have brought me here. My habits are getting higher and higher and higher and higher. I actually did the math. You know the sustenance and growth metric thing?
Mm-hmm.
You want to guess how much of mine is growth?
Go ahead.
About
20?
95%.
Nice.
And we're also doing better than we've also ever done because a lot of what we're pushing is growth. So what is required on your end to achieve your goals? I was talking about
I kind of calculated it. I think from now I need to book like at least like 3 calls per day to reach my goal. But you said like don't like you make it to like two numbers. Like
no, I don't like that whole ideology of okay, if I just book in 2 calls a day, then I do this, then I do, because then you don't book in 3 calls in a day and you decide you contemplate suicide all of a sudden.
nah, like minimum 2. Like if I can book more, but to be honest, I would probably not book more. I'd be like, okay, done for the day.
Yeah, you're going for the bare minimum. You're not going for as much as possible.
Yeah.
You're going for a sustenance mentality of make sure I make at least 5. You're not saying, okay, well, I'm at 5 now. Let me go for 10. Let me make at least 5. So
True.
rewire your brain. And if you're curious enough,
Yeah.
you'll figure out how to do it. Rewire your
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah. I've been like stuck in a loop in my life, like not achieving like anything for like I won't say achieving anything. Like obviously I've like had like skill sets, but not like financial for like a while. And like it's just like seems in my head, like, bro, is it even like like will I ever get there? Like I don't know if it's just me, like in the back of my head. You know what I mean?
Welcome to everybody, bro. Welcome to everybody. It's not just you. Okay. See you later, Kitana. So if you're talking about, okay, well, I seek dopamine. When I'm so far away from my main goal, I don't get the dopamine I desire. If you don't get the dopamine you desire from your main milestone that you're not at yet, create smaller milestones so you'll still get the dopamine. Figure yourself out. If you're one of those individuals that need like smaller check marks to feel like you're growing, I'll see you later, then beautiful. Be that individual that feels like you need smaller check marks. That's okay. What works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you.
True.
So, okay, well, if I need to create smaller goals, I have actionables I need to do by the end of the month. So in your mentality, I could say, okay, I got them done at the end of the month. In my mentality, I got them done 10 days into the month. So that's a small aspect of the whole do the bare minimum, do the maximum concept. But then also smaller milestones. If you feel like you've not been getting the progression you want to get, start looking at it from different spectrums and different perspectives. Smaller milestones, different milestones. How often do you reflect?
No reflection.
No reflection.
Uh,
Majority of the great ideas, you got a great idea and you decided, okay, let me start online money because you couldn't hide from that. You got the thought, then you didn't you probably let yourself hide from it. Probably doom scrolled for a while. You probably consumed short form content or dopamine or whatever it was for a while, and you kept having the thought and you couldn't overdrive it. And then you decided, okay, let me just try it. Why not? What's the worst case? And then you psyoped yourself into thinking it was the best way possible. But it's because you let yourself think for that small little window. Everybody has great ideas. Everybody has great schemes.
True.
In my mind, we essentially pay for people's subconscious focus. When you hire a COO or a CEO or a head of acquisition or growth or whatnot, you're paying for their subconscious focus, their subconscious thoughts. Because when they think about your business in the back of their minds and they come back with great ideas, that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for their 30-minute strategy session per week. You're paying for their focus, or their subconscious focus, if that kind of makes sense.
The last time like I reflected was like just like what I need to do to reach my goal. That's like the reflection like I had.
What was it? What did you have to do to reach your goals? The 3 calls per day and stuff?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Just be more aware, bro. If I told you, okay, well, to get to my goal, I need to do at least this, 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 and this, I'd say, okay, well, I do that. What else can I do to push every lever possible? That's my mentality, but it also took a point to get to that point. I'm not pedestalizing myself. I'm telling you, okay, well, if you know it's a flaw, call yourself out on it. You shouldn't have to say it out loud, and then you say, oh, maybe that's not the greatest thing. I know it's an issue. You know, like you should already know. And you should say, okay, Val, so like I did this and I reflected and I realized that this is my typical old mentality. So what I've decided to do now is like, this is the bare minimum. And I'm also going to do this, this, and this to push the lever possible, as many levers as possible.
Yeah. Maybe I should have.
But if you're someone who,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, you live and you learn and you just go as you go. I'm not expecting you to get it right perfectly straight away. Nobody actually does. With that, my charger is on low battery, so let me go get a charger or my Mac.
How's everyone doing, bro?
Sorry, I was just getting a charger. I'm good, bro. So what you probably
Let's go grilled.
You what?
Let's go grilled. Let's do it.
Welcome to the game, bro. For you, there's no goals. It's training for the next 6 months and don't think.
Nah. Bro, yeah, like the biggest thing I've learned is mentality whilst on this offer,
Yeah.
bro. But yeah.
That's good. I think that's what the guys on this call are starting to realize. Damn, it's all really mentality. You went through 4 of these in 75 minutes. It's literally all mentality. It's what you believe. It's what you're not working on. So I'll ask you all again a general question. If you were where you want to be, what habits, standards, and requirements would you have? Because it's not actually about the habits, standards, or requirements. It's what you believe you would be like if you had it. So when you get those, you'll naturally associate that to where you want to be. And then time will catch up, the universe will catch up, and you'll get there. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yes.
I don't have a vision board. I'm not saying a vision board is going to get you to where you want to go. I think it's creating similarities and milestones and saying, okay, well, if I was here, I'd probably look like this. What do I need to do? For me, getting in shape was always so cooked. So after months and months, let me reiterate, after years and years and years, I finally realized what works for me really well is subconscious sentimental value and understanding why I care so much about something. That's what pushes me a lot in business. It's also a lot of passion. So I said, okay, well, maybe for fitness, it'll work the same way. I believed, okay, if it works for business, it'll work for fitness. All of a sudden, I'm on a better trajectory with fitness because I've gotten away from the actual outcome and I've gotten to the subconscious meaning behind it in my mind and the importance. I've developed importance out of nothing. Nobody could give me that. The majority of the growth you endure is internal. What's actually quite funny is someone I'm here with asked me, when you go home, because you've been traveling all year, do you think your parents will recognize you? Keep in mind, I've been home, but I said, keep in mind, I've been home, but also all the growth I've endured has been internal. None of it has been external. What you might see is that I'm in better shape, but all you would think is, okay, he just goes to the gym more often because he enjoys going to the gym. You will not have to see how many pages of why or reflection I've done, or how much thinking I've had to do, how much overthinking, how much underthinking, how much hiding from problems, because a lot of it is internal. People don't see the growth. People don't see the internal growth. It's understanding what works for you. But what works quite well for me, and I would argue is a pretty good general concept to latch onto, is I was already where I want to be, and I was that type of person. What would I be doing now that I'm not doing right now? What if I just apply that to my life? Okay, well, I'd have a really good growth operation skill set. What does that actually look like? And how do I get there? Is it buying a course? Is it doing this? Is it doing that? Cool. How do I get there? And also, let me ask you this. You talk about getting to your goals by X amount of time. Why do you want to get there as soon as possible? Most people don't even ponder on that. Why do I want to accomplish my 3-month goals within the next 3 months? Because I'll be so frank. If I hit my milestone this month, I'll be happy. If I don't, I won't care. I'll probably be butthurt for a bit. It'll probably hurt my ego, but it won't actually ultimately impact my mentality. Because I understand that it's not about getting there now. It's just about the growth I'm enduring throughout the process. Now, it's easier to say that, but at the end of the month, God forbid I don't hit my goals, I'll probably feel a bit bad. But then I'll just go back to this and I'll say, okay, so be it. I've still gotten this far. And I'll continue to grow. Why do I want to get to where I want to go as fast as I say I want to get there? Because then it'll light a fire under your butt, and all of a sudden you'll create urgency out of nothing. Does that make sense? Does anybody want to challenge me on any of that? Please do. This is my beliefs. It could be different for you. What are we thinking?
Do you not think if you don't set a time frame, like you would lose that urgency? Or but also like if you set a time frame, you could technically hit it earlier, but then could you've set it out in like 3 months, you're automatically just gonna, if you do hit it, it is gonna be in 3 months' time instead of when it could be next month.
I like that. I like that. And what I find quite funny about that is when you write out the actionables of what you need to do to where you want to go, you'll just start going through them, and you'll start really enjoying it, and you'll feel your progression, you'll feel your growth. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I'm doing everything I need to do to get to where I want to go. And then you will hit it faster because you've already endured what you need to endure. So you say 3 months, but then you get lost in the sauce. It's not like, okay, I need to do all of this. Let me do a bit of this now. Let me do a bit of this now. Let me do a bit of this now. That might get restricting. But it also depends on the individual. If you break it down into 3 different compartments of each month, and you do that 2 weeks, and you have 2 weeks left in the month, and you say, okay, well, I'll wait for next month to do that, you probably don't want it within 3 months. I think it can be a limitation for some people, but here's the beautiful thing. You're still getting to your goal, and you're out of a state of stagnancy, and you're in a state of consciousness. Because then if you've gotten to that point, you'll probably realize, hold on, I could get there sooner. Why am I so slow? And now, boom, you're in a way better position than you would have been if you didn't do either. Very good question. And I actually do agree with you. I think it can restrict and impact a lot of people. What do you think, Nick?
I agree. I'm kind of just trying to figure out how I do it where I don't set that time limitation, because I want to hit all-time high with suing, but
Mhm.
I've already hit like a mental limitation where it's like I just want to do it by the end of the year, like December.
What
Maybe I could. Pardon?
What happens if you don't?
If I don't hit it in December,
Mhm.
I have to keep setting, bro.
Is that what you told yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Because
where I really play with your brain, and I say, let's say you don't hit it in December, and now all of a sudden you feel horrible and your performance goes downhill and you start to regress instead of progress because you're not doing as well as you want to do. What then?
oh, what?
What if you don't hit your goal and then you start to feel really bad and your performance gets cooked and then you start regressing?
I don't know, bro.
Why does it have to be by the end of the year? So you can transition?
Yeah.
So if it doesn't happen by the end of the year, you're not allowed to transition.
Or it doesn't even have to be at the end of the year. Me personally, I don't think I should transition unless I hit a record month with Sue, because then I can use that as a case study, right? For example, take George.
You can
He
still
stayed until. You think?
what you're going for is you're going for personal self-conviction or self-conviction. So
Yeah.
what I would do is I would hop on the offer. This I'm not saying do this. What I would do is I'd hop on the offer. The offer could do horrible that month. I'd still use it as a case study because I've already developed the personal self-conviction. For you, it's
Yeah.
like once I case study, I validated the fact that I can do what I think I can do. Now I can go on to the next thing. You develop the self-conviction to transition into the next thing. And that is
Yeah.
pure mental. You believe that you can. So for you, you're pedestalizing the financial goal and you're saying once, and that's not a bad thing by any means. You're saying once I accomplish that, then I know I've controlled the controllables. I've been able to do X. I can do the next thing. But if I can't, then I can't, and then I gotta stay. But
Yeah.
that's not an ascending belief. That's a limiting belief. Now you're saying I can do X, but if this doesn't work out, kill everything. It's like a kill switch.
Mm,
So
yeah,
yeah, what you're
Mm.
chasing, and if I were to break this call down into a single sentence, you are chasing self-conviction. So you know you can comfortably transition into the next thing. Because if I had
100%.
any of your guys' situations, I would be so stubborn, I'd be so arrogant, I'd be willing to learn as much as possible, but would not stay somewhere for very long. Because I would want to
Mm.
continue to feel growth in every aspect of my life. But
Yeah.
it goes back to your own conviction. So what you're chasing is self-conviction, i.e. validation, which we all chase, by the way. It just depends on how you chase validation. We all have childhood traumas. If you
Yeah.
want to go back to the psychology behind it, we all have childhood traumas. That's funny, right? It's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that, bro. Because, bro, you should have seen me when I first 2 weeks of when it was just me on the offer, bro. It was hella chopped. Because I lost all self conviction, and all my days it was just so chopped. I would just get grilled, and I would work, but it's like without no self conviction, the work wasn't even good. And then I wouldn't see the result, and I was just depressed, bro.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah, I think I've overcome that now, though. Well, I wouldn't say I'm 100% self-convicted in my ability yet, but it's definitely getting there. It is also just a put in more reps where I actually do see the progress, and then and then I just naturally build that confidence up.
Did you see how George's self-conviction was so long overdue that he was just able to get out so easily? There was no hesitation or whatever, what not, what this, what that. In his mind, it was everything I've done has been leading up to this point. I'm far more than capable of doing it. I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
Self-conviction.
Yeah.
You don't get to take it per month by mistake.
Yeah.
We have this belief that you need to be ultra smart to get 100K per month or 200K per month, for the people that care about finances particularly. The ultra intelligent are making 100 million a month or 50 million a month. They're not trying to fight you on 100 a month. So even if you think, oh, but I'm not as intelligent, and that's your limiting belief, you'll be fine because you're not competing with the most ultra intelligent. You're competing with some goon who found online money. All of us, the game. But yeah. But this might be applicable to you. This might not be applicable to you. It just depends on if you actually believe it. If you think I'm purely waffling and you think that is purely a facade and he's just so stupid and idiotic, I agree with you. Go find whatever works for you. But if you agree with me and you say that's so smart, I just need self-conviction, I just need to do X, Y, and Z to get self-conviction, I also agree with you. You found what might work for you. Everything is wrong. Nothing is right. It's just how wrong is it to your current situation. Once you adopt that mentality, then you're chilling. And this is a small thing I do personally, psychologically, is I don't call it like an attempt at something and I don't consider it a failure. I call it a scheme. If I try the scheme and it works, cool. If it doesn't work, cool. It was just a scheme. It was so unimportant. It was just a little idea I threw out there. If it goes in the wind, fine. If it works, fine. It's a scheme. Who cares? Minimizing the importance of outcomes. And that's something, obviously, over time, you'll develop that too. But then you start to realize a lot of it is just mentality. But then it can get really dark where the other day I met a guy recently who wears copper so he can be more grounded to the earth. That's where I draw the line on the hippy dippy spirituality. No offense. I agree with a lot of it, but then I think when you wear copper on your wrist, that's a bit extreme. Each to their own. If it works for him, it works for him. So that was a joke, by the way. I want to continue this call because I don't feel like I've done right by you guys. Are you guys, and I don't want to open it up to everyone. We can open it up to everyone for EMF radiation, but I'm going to prioritize you peeps. What do you guys think about doing the same time on Friday? And I'll take a screenshot of everybody that was in this call so we can make sure that we go through you guys as a priority. Do we
I
like
mean, I
that?
already did my part. No, I don't mind. I'll join.
I don't mind. I'll just to make sure I go to sleep really early on Thursday.
What's the saying that people say if he wanted to, he would? I got the names. There we go.
Usually
Now
I
we-
just
If he wanted to, he would.
exactly. Just gotta thug it out, man. It's like 8:30 in the morning for me right now. I gotta just thug it out.
Did you say 8 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, when the meeting started, it was fucking 7 a.m. I literally just woken up on time.
Bro, my sleep is so cooked. I don't remember the last time I went to sleep before midnight. It must have been months. Oh, that's so cooked. How'd you guys find that call anyway? We will have a continuation on Friday, by the way. If obviously if you want to attend, attend. If you don't want to attend, I don't blame you. I think I'm a little too hippy dippy as well.
No, it was good. It was definitely eye-opening on like certain aspects, at least for myself.
That's mentality, right?
Yeah. And that's, I think, like, it's probably the hardest thing to overcome on your own, because sometimes you don't know what like exactly if you're thinking right or if you're not. So you need to talk, especially like we have access to someone like you, No Glaze, who's been through it before. So it's I mean, that's kind of literally the luxury we have is that you've been through this before, so you know exactly where we are.
But it's not about getting over it. It's just you never get over it. It's just new levels. Look at Narrow Knowledge. I promise you, he has midlife crises at 3 a.m. Matter of fact, I know one that he 100% had. You may look at and perceive as someone who's figured out the universe, and he sat there at 3 a.m. tweaking out. And then he's also, I think it's for polygamy or the opposite of monogamy. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So it's like even the people that you look at that you think have it figured out, they also have their own flaws. So then you realize it's all a spectrum. You don't just crack it and boom, you get to where you want to go. Because in that situation, you'd have unlimited money. No. It's like the same way you don't get peace indefinitely, or happiness indefinitely. You get happiness, and then the same thing won't yield happiness 3 months down the line if you had it every day, but you can sustain peace. And then it's like, how do I find that peace, and then how do I sustain it? And if you look at the science behind it, Alex Ramosi would say, look at good days, look at bad days, look at normal days. What are the good days? Why are they good days? If you have more time to train and you have time to eat with people, apply that to your normal days, boom, now you have a bunch of good normal days, higher standard, more peace. So that's like a basic spectrum of it too. It depends. Finding what works for you and believing it works for you. Because if you don't believe it works for you, then it's not as powerful, right? It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. So yeah, hopefully that was an insightful call. I need to go and do 2 more calls, and then I need to go work out for 75 hard, even though it's like midnight soon, but I'm going to try not to cry. You guys have a good rest of your days or nights or whatever time zones you're on.
That
And
shit.
if I told you to message me for a call, actually message me for a call, because your guys' positions you pedestalized for so long, they're not even that deep. You guys aren't far from your desired realities. Because if I gave you your desired realities, you'd feel good for 3 days, and after that, you'd probably feel like normal again. So that tells you enough. Yeah, I'll talk to you all in a bit. Have a good rest of your days.
Thanks for the
Thank you
call,
very
bro.
much.
Thank you very much.
Peace, bro.
Take care, boys.